Hello everybody, Justin from Playing Board Games here, and I am excited to do this deck guide for Parallel Skids O'Toole with you today. Parallel Skids, he's a little bit neat. If you don't know what the Parallel Investigators are, there are three of them so far: Agnes Baker, Daisy Walker, and Skids, obviously, O'Toole. They are a print-and-play version that have an alternative front side and an alternative back side, and you can use them as you see fit. You can use Skids' alternative front with his normal back. You can use his alternative back with his normal front, or you can go double parallel, double alternative Skids O'Toole. Today we're going double. We're going all parallel, no excuses. It's parallel all the time. We're doing some Skids, big money deck. I was not expecting people to be driving around outside my house at 11:30, so I apologize for the cars in the background. So let's talk a bit about Skids, but first let's get to the deck and all this stuff. So I playtested a few Skids decks. I was like, should we do this investigating Skids? Should we do this kind of flex Skids? And then I was like, this was the Skids deck that felt the best to me in all my playtesting. This is a big money, damage dealing Skids. He's here to kill monsters and be rich as heck while doing it. So, how do we get rich as heck? Well, great question. It's actually printed right onto his investigator card. So as a lightning bolt, you can spend up to 3 resources and test a base skill value of 3 against a difficulty equal to the amount of resources just spent. If you succeed, gain twice the number of resources that you spent for this. Only foot and wild symbol skill icons may be committed to this test. Limit once per round. There they go again. It's way too hot to close the window, so I apologize in advance. This obviously gets worse of an ability on hard and expert mode, but on standard, it's very reliable when you're just starting out to go 3v1 and just get 2 resources. Just double a resource every turn. That's what you're going to want to be looking at. And worst case scenario, you fail and you've lost a resource. That's the worst case scenario when you're just starting out. Later on, as we get through into this deck, you're going to be able to test up 2, you're going to be test up 3, especially when we get the well-connected going, which we're going to see once I get into the deck list. His Elder Sign effect is +1. Choose a level 2 or less card in your discard pile and add the chosen card to your hand. This is pretty sick. It's like some Survivor recursion built onto a character. Skids O'Toole parallel deck building I actually don't have here, but you can check it in the description box down below to get to the Arkham DB link. And on that link, you'll see the parallel backside. So I believe it is level 0 to 5 green cards, and then like level 0 to 3, maybe 0 to 4, 0 to 5, Gambit and Fortunes. And it has this neat trick, it has this neat trick where when you upgrade, if you pay the full price of the upgrade, you can include that version in your deck and not take the original out. So that means we're going to 6 luckies, baby. That's how we're doing it today. Another thing is his starting deck size is only 25, so that is a notable lower amount of cards. So the Skid stuff is still here on the lam. Fast play after your turn begins until the end of the round. Non-elite enemies cannot attack you. This could be played. There's the chance, the window where you can. But worst case scenario, it's 3 book, 3 foot, or 2 brain, 2 fist. Hospital Debts is actually really soft in this Skids because you're going to be making so much money. You can essentially gamble the money to pay off your mom's hospital debts each turn, no problem. You can just do it actionless, which is super sick. As a lightning bolt, you move 1 resource from your resource pool to hospital debts, limit twice per round, and there needs to be, once again, 6, 1 for each lucky on this, or you earn 2 for your experience for this scenario. You're going to want to do this, but luckily, because you're going to have a lot of money anyway, and your ability naturally gives you the money for it, actionlessly, it's going to be easy to manage. Let's start looking at the deck. The goal of the deck is to fight and is to also make money. So, well connected, limit 1 per investigator. As a lightning bolt, exhaust it. You get +1 skill value for every 5 resources you have. This one's a bust, so I'm just going to wait a second. You can look at my pretty face. You know what? I'm going to have to just close the window. Oh, hopefully I don't get heat stroke by the time this is done. So this one's especially good because once you get 5 resources, now already your lightning bolt ability on your investigator card, you can be at 4. So you can comfortably go to 2. When you have 10 resources, you can even more comfortably go to 2 because you have 5, because You have 5 versus the game's 2. So like you're going to make more money, and this money is going to just further feed your well-connected. Of course, you do want to use your well-connected for other things, but you want to get to like 10 to 20 resources to really get some juice out of your well-connected. Money Talks is a great way to just use your money to your advantage for these tests, so we're running 2 of them. We're also running 2 well-connecteds, just for consistency. You can only have 1 in play. For weapon choices, we have the 41 Derringer. You just get +2 fist for this attack, and if you succeed by 2 or more, it deals +1 damage. This is where well-connected really comes into play. And then we got the Mauser C96 for my other weapon choice. Just get +1 and deal +1 damage for this attack. You succeed by 2 or more, either ready it or gain 1 resource. Core and power cards, let's go. So, you handle this one, just some protection, and it gives you a resource. Staple in all the green decks, you're going to want to play this in the majority of them, except for probably Safina Rousseau. Everyone else, you're going to want this in there. Lucky, great card. We're going to be having 6 of them, so that's a great day. Can't go wrong with it. Overpowered, Unexpected Courage. Help you do what you need to do. With this skill, you could do a Guts instead. That's very viable. I choose to just do Overpower and Unexpected Courage just because, yeah, you're going to get screwed over a bit, but that's like, I'd rather run, especially with 25 cards, I'd rather have cards that help my game plan as opposed to a Guts. But don't feel bad about choosing a Guts. I think it's a fair choice. I just don't. I'm a bit of a wild boy. I'm a risk taker. Economy cards, we have a lot of these in this deck. 1 copy of Lone Wolf. You only need 1. You only have 1 in play. It just gives you more resources. I don't think it's a priority. This could easily be swapped out with something else, but I liked it in the deck and I liked it in my playtesting, so I put it in. Pickpocketing, 2 of these to help you get more cards. Cards are good. You still do want to evade with Skids O'Toole because sometimes you can just leave an enemy on a location and he has the luxury of being able to do that, and pickpocketing is going to be nice to give you those resources, the cards from that. 1 emergency cash, 3 resources for 1 action. Good rate. Faustian Bargain, 2 of these because 5 resources and 2 curse tokens that someone else is going to draw. That's a really good rate. Last but not least, we have 2 placeholders, 2 Lonnie Ritters, and a trench coat. These are here to just be further upgrades in the future once we get to our upgrade path. I chose these ones because they kind of work well together and they actually kind of fit into the box that they're going to be upgraded into, which you'll see in our upgrade path. Lonnie Ritter can fix your trench coat and you die less, but she helps you fight, it helps you evade, but we're going to get better allies in these spots in the future. Alternatives. So, 25 automatic can be a good alternative to the Mauser. I just found that the level 0 25 automatic in my playtesting was a bit fiddly, and you don't really see... it's just you have to spend 2 actions to get the full potential out of your 25 automatic. Otherwise, you're just shooting, right? And yes, you're going to want to be doing this, but sometimes you just need to shoot, right? Sometimes you just want to spend 1 action and shoot a guy in the head. You don't want to evade them and then shoot him in the head, if that makes sense. 45 Thompson is an expensive gun that takes 2 hands, but it can work if you have a smaller card pool as well. Just some weapon alternatives there. There's tons of green weapons, and it really comes all down to your preference and what you have in your collection. I don't think you can go wrong with the gun I completely forgot the name of, the 40-something automatic, whatever the green starter weapon is from the core set. And then I have to go back and look. I need to feed my own curiosity. The 41 Derringer, yeah, from the core set. It's a great one. Mauser or the 25 will work. Thompson can also work, or whatever else interests you at level 0. I actually don't even know if there is anything else. Me and guns don't mix. Another one is Tennessee Sour Mash. This one's a bit cool because it both protects and attacks. So if you wanted to put a Guts in, but you also wanted to have a nice little like weapon alternative to deal with an enemy and just get some damage on it, I think Tennessee Sour Mash isn't a bad choice. I think the card's pretty good. If you're looking for it. There's obviously, in my opinion, better cards, but I don't think Tennessee Sour Mash is a bad one. It really depends on if you want to worry about the Mythos deck. And as I said, I don't. It's not what I do. Because I'm a survivor player at heart. We just take the blow on the chin and keep fighting. All right, so the ally slot, the Lonnie Ritter, I said, that's kind of a placeholder, which we've never seen one of these videos before, but let's be real, placeholder is a slot in some of your deck building. You're like, this card's going to just be something else in the future, and just choosing an ally with a similar goal is fine. Dario and Gregory Gry both provide more economy. Dario in the forms of action and also then a stat boost to one relevant stat. Brain is always relevant. And then one non-relevant stat, in my opinion, to this build. But you could still do something with it. And then also getting 2 resources for an action is clean and fine. But I think Dario is a little bit lackluster for this deck. He was in one of my playtesting for the other ones, and he was good in that one, but I don't think he'd be good in this one. However, I think if you are limited on a collection, Dario's a fine choice. Gregory Gry is a bit fun. You can gamble. I think he's interesting. I don't know if I'd necessarily say he's great, but I do think he's interesting and would fit in this deck. And then finally, Leo DeLuca, he just gives you more actions. You can't really complain about more actions. And also he's in the core set, so everyone has them. All right. Events like Sneak Attack and Backstab take advantage of your high foot stat and the fact that you will evade enemies. So Sneak Attack is just testless damage. Not really. It is actually kind of like test damage, but you have to just evade someone first, but luckily your foot's really high. And then Backstab, this attack uses foot instead of fist, and it deals +2 damage. This is especially good with Well Connected, because if you get like +3 on this or +2 on this, you're going to very likely hit and then deal 3 damage, and that's pretty juicy. Slip Away can help with harder to evade enemies if needed. You could add your book to it, which I believe is 3. Actually, you know what? Dario could lead to a pretty... You could definitely build this as a clover, but I found more success with him as a fighter. That's just what that's my case, and I'm sticking to it. But I mean, evading with your book onto this +3 is really good, and if you succeed by 2 or more, which you probably will with a number that high, and then also add your Well Connected to it, and this will do really well. Belly of the Beast may snag a clue. If you're lucky, you're going to be, if you want to be focusing on the evading side of things, I think Belly of the Beast could work. I didn't run it because for me, I'm not here for that. However, for a limited collection, I do think Belly of the Beast could do some work in this deck. All right, Dumb Luck can turn failures into a good thing, which is not a bad choice. It's also a fortune, so you could upgrade it into other things. And then like keep the original Dumb Luck in your deck. I believe there is an upgraded Dumb Luck. I'm like 99% sure. So that's some things you could do if you wanted to go that route. Just kind of give yourself some security against your evading if you're worried about that kind of thing. Scrounge for supplies or acts as additional copies of the strong cards in your deck when you're just starting out. This will get worse as the game goes. So Scrounge for supplies is a great card that you put in early and then you can take out later in the campaign. Watch This can provide more risky economy if you need it. So if you're looking for more cards that make you money because you might not have Faustian Bargain or something like that, you could do Watch This and then use the foot for example, your evade tests, or if you're feeling a bit double dipping, you can use it on Skid's ability to commit it for a foot. This is risky though, like Gregory Gry and your own ability, you're not guaranteed these resources. Hatchet Man can also provide more risky damage if you're looking for that as well, because you need to evade an enemy. Luckily, though, this is going to be really good with an upgrade in the future, which we're going to get onto our upgrade path, which is right now. I nailed it. I'm the best. I'm just going to pause here, break for YouTube, catch my breath. I love talking. I talk too fast. Without Travis and Bryn here, I don't have someone to bounce off of. So I don't get to take a break and be like, hey, Travis, why don't you talk about High Roller for a second? I would never get Travis to talk about High Roller. I'd get Bryn to talk about High Roller because Bryn likes green cards. Anyways, let's talk about upgrading this deck. So there's a lot of different packages I'm going to provide to you while also giving kind of a general focus for the direction I went. And I think one of the most important places to start is with your money. It's not the place I start with the deck. We'll see that on the next slide. But I do think generally for most people, this is where you're going to want to start when you're upgrading this deck. Cards in this upgrade package will help you do more with your money, or make you more money if you need more money. So High Roller, it's kind of like a little bit more. It's more of what you're doing. So you can spend 3 resources and exhaust it to get +2 skill value for this test. If you succeed, you gain 3 resources. So the play pattern we're looking for in this Skids O'Toole deck is that in the beginning little bits of the game, you're using your well-connected and your ability to get yourself to 10 resources. Then when you're at 10 resources, assuming your high rollers aren't in play, you can just start like dumping high rollers into stats and then just getting +2, then with your well-connected getting even more. One thing to be aware of is that well-connected is constantly checking for its bonus. So if you have 17 resources and you do well connected, you get +3, and you're like, I'm a genius, I'm so strong. Then you high roller, which will take you down to 14 resources. Your well connected is only going to give 2. So it's constantly checking the number of your resources for the bonus it gives you. That's at least what people told me when I was recording my playtests, and that's the way I read it too. So just something to be aware of. Hot Streak gives you more resources. These could replace the Faustian Bargains, or the Emergency Cash is a good place to start too, if you're looking for that. I don't think you need to go overkill. You don't need like Faustian Bargain, Hot Streak, and Emergency Cash. You can like start cutting things there. Easy Mark is a great economy option. It gives you cards and resources, and especially when you get to like the upgraded pickpocketing, you're going to be able to draw a lot of cards from your deck to chain a bunch of these Easy Marks. So even on its own, the 0 for game 2 and draw a card is still an okay rate. Like you're still like gaining. Like it's not a bad thing to do if you need the resources in the card. Okay. This is where I would personally start. Replace the replaceables. Getting the Lonnie Ritters and Trenchcoat out is a must for this deck. The ally can depend on the path you take. So, but it's a damage-rich evade Skids, which is my inner code for this. I like Delilah. So I chose Delilah O'Rourke for this. You get +1 fist, +1 foot. You can exhaust her to spend X resources to choose an enemy or location. Deal 1 damage to the chosen enemy, 2 instead if they're exhausted, which you kind of do. It's kind of your thing. She's going to give you +1 foot, so that's a relevant stat to you. And you're rich, so you're going to have the money to pay her to shoot people. This could be an upgraded Leo. It could be not a Lola Santiago in this build, but if you did decide to turn this into more of a clue thing, Lola's great here. Once again, today I'm presenting you with this damage one, so I'm recommending Delilah, getting rid of the Lonnie, and then you replace the Trenchcoat with a single moon because it kind of does the same thing. Just doesn't have damage soak on it, which is Skids, you're not too worried about that, TBH. Because if an enemy's going to kill you, you just evade it. That's the game plan. Okay. Upgrade your weapons. So, the 1-to-1s you can just do 41 Derringer, upgrade it to level 2, Mauser to take upgrade to level 2. However, the upgraded 25 automatic, if you have it in your collection from Into the Maelstrom, is, oh my god, chef's kiss. This weapon is incredible. I would personally go to the upgraded 41 Derringer, and then to the upgraded 25 automatic if you do not have collection limitations. Yes, I would start with the Mauser in your base deck and then go to the 25 automatic. I do think level 0 Mauser is better than the level 0 25 automatic. However, in Skids, the level 25 automatic, the level 2 25 automatic is better than the level 2 Mauser. This is because after you evade an enemy, so it's the same thing. If the attacked enemy is exhausted, you get +2 fists and deal +1 damage for this attack. It's fast, 4 shots on it. And then after you evade an enemy or location, perform the above fight ability without spending an action. So sick. That's great. This you can change some cool things with Delilah to just evade, shoot, deal, use her to kill, and just like make the damage 4 damage and kill 4 health enemies with that pretty comfortably. You also, if you don't need to worry about it, you just don't do it. It's not forced. You can just do what you want to do with it, right? You can just choose when you want to shoot. This one's also pretty cute with Hatchet Man, as I was saying, because then you just get to fire the free shot on the evade here. So you get to evade and then you get the free shot. You don't even need to spend an action on it. So that's a cute interaction if you did want to put Hatchet Man in your deck. The last thing, if you're worried about ammo, you can pick up Swift Reload. I think this is a fair upgrade. I'm for it. I'm for it. Don't have much else to say. If you want to worry about your ammo, Swift Reload's going to help you worry about your ammo. Okay, what do we got next? Do more of a good thing, right? Upgrading your pickpocketing is a great route to go. The upgraded version is fast, which I always forget about, and then I'm like, oh wait, this card's fast. And then after you evade an enemy, you exhaust it, draw 1 card, or gain 1 resource if you're looking for the money. And if you succeed by 2 or more, which you probably will, do both. Have you noticed the accessory slot in the starting deck was empty? This could go into a garrote wire if you want to do more killing, or a lucky cigarette case if you want to worry more about your resources. Excuse me. I don't know... Sorry, and by resources, I of course mean cards. I actually say which one is the better choice. I think it depends on the campaign, the structure of the composition of your investigator pools, who you're playing with, and then where you feel like your deck is lacking. If your card draw is comfortable, grab the Garrote Wire. If you want to deal more damage, grab the Garrote Wire. If you want to see more cards in your deck, grab the Cigarette Case. If you have bought some exceptional cards, grab the Cigarette Case. So it really depends on like what you need in the moment when you're building your deck. Be the luckiest Skids we've ever seen. So there are a lot of paths you can take with the strange deck building quirk of adding the upgrades of Fortune and Gambit cards, but with this deck, sorry, is that Julie's on her way home? Okay, she's on her way home. But with this deck, the cleanest and easiest path, in my opinion, is just more luckies. So the level 2 one is fast, get +2, draw a card when you would fail, and then the level 3 one is 0, fast play. When an investigator location would fail a skill test, they get +3 to their skill value for this test, and then that investigator draws 1 card. As I said, there's tons of different ways that you can go with the Fortune and Gambit, but because this is focusing on this damage deck, I do think luckies are the right choice, and I would just add them in, and we would go 6 luckies, baby. That's how we would do this. Okay, that's it. That is this Skids O'Toole parallel version. Honestly, I actually had tons of fun playtesting this deck out. You can see the deck here. We have the 25 Automatic, the 41 Derringer, Delilah the Moon, High Roller, Pickpocketing, basically all the cards I said, and then the extra 10 experience from the 2 luckies. Sorry, the 4 luckies. Oh, a baby. There's a lot of different ways you could go. You could remove the skills if you felt like you weren't need them. However, looking at this is like the deck I like, and I think it would do really well at this job. I think you would also actually have a lot of fun with it. The Lightning Bolt ability is really cool, and just don't do what I did and forget about it later in the campaign, in the scenario. Make sure you're using it for at least 1 every turn, because worst case scenario, you lost a resource. Most common case scenario, you get 2. That seems like a good deal. Just double a resource every turn, have a chance to do it, especially on easy. Oh my god, if you're playing this deck on easy, you will be living the high life. Standard, I still think this is very, very doable. -2 is like, being up 2 is like the place you want to be for the majority of standard scenarios. And then on hard and expert, which I don't play, this deck's probably gonna, honestly, Parallel Skids seems a lot weaker on hard and expert compared to easy and standard. However, as well, you want to just be aware when you're playing this deck to make sure you know what the symbol tokens do, because you don't want to be running a test up 2 for 1 resource when there's a -3 place 1 doom on the nearest cultist enemy in play, or place a doom on your location if you fail. So just be aware of that when you're looking at this deck. You're going to really need to balance the token pool with your choices on this. Anyways, the next video in this deck guide series is going to be Norman Withers, and we're going to be focusing on a damage spell focused Norman Withers, and he's going to just pick up clues on the side. So we'll see you guys all for the next video. Thanks for watching. Check the description for both the deck lists, both the level 0 and the experienced version. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the support in the comments on this series so far. I'll see you guys very soon for another one. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.